What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with the Real Housewives of Miami, season 7, episode 7, Textual Tension. Before I start, y'all, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on all the videos that I drop. And can y'all make sure y'all we're liking the videos so I can stay in the algorithm? Y'all, we're trying to get my numbers up, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you to all the new subscribers. As I always ask, I say, I hope y'all like my content. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm always responding, so I thank y'all so much. Anyway, so the episode start. We see Julia and Martinez outside on the farm with the boys, and they keep trying to put this narrative out here like Julia and Martina are good people, and they're not. We still don't like y'all. All right. So Adriana and Alexia both show up at Julia and Martina's house, and of course there's going to be that competition with both Adriana and Alexia. It's for me. I feel like Julia is really just putting the mean girls above her real friendship. But when the chips are down, when they need to sacrifice somebody and throw them under the bus, you'll be the first one they throw. And they're going to run you over with it. I just want you to know that. And we will not feel sorry for you. So anyway, this dude named Karamo, he called Julia, invited her to a LGBTQ event. And so she says she'll go, and then she invites all the ladies. So Larsa and Stephanie meets up because Larsa is actually, I want to say she's going to remodel her closet. And let me say this, Larsa, she really have a beautiful home. I would say that. Stephanie claims that she has not diagnosed herself with OCD child. And that's why she don't want any kids. Anyway, Larsa then tells Stephanie that she met Lisa for lunch, and so we get the little not a montage, but production go back to the day they had lunch and how Larsa was telling Lisa like nobody's your friend, like just lying to her. Like nobody told Larsa that unless they said that behind the scenes. Nobody told Larsa that. That is just Larsa's way of playing in Lisa's face, just so Lisa can stick her head back up Larsa's ass. Again, the only reason you're now interested in trying to make Lisa your friend is because Marcus is gone. Sorry, y'all. Because as long as Marcus was there, you didn't give a damn about these ladies because it was all about you and Marcus. Y'all, I cannot. I've already stated in the beginning, I felt like these hoes was kicking Gertie out and trying to exclude her and Adriana because Dr. Nicole is gone. I still stand on that. So I wanted to point out about Stephanie and Melissa Gorga are both in the Fantastic Four commercial. So I just want to say shout out to them. You know, when we went to a commercial break. Anyway, the LGBT Task Force Gala is going on, and at this point, I just feel like no matter what Julia say or do, she's really just trying to play in everybody's face. I really liked Julia, but what she did and how she's showing up, that's what's really pissing me off. So everybody's invited to the event, and then this is another thing. I feel like they want to bring Kiki on as a full-time wife. I mean, as a full-time person. But in order probably to do that, they have to get rid of somebody else, i.e. Gertie. And so Kiki comes and she brings a friend. And it turns out that the person who Kiki brought along was somebody who was on Carmen from Drag Race. But Kiki knows her in the modeling world. Anyway, Marisol is in a car with Stephanie because everybody's getting ready and on their way to the event. And Marisol tells Stephanie that her colon is good. And Stephanie was like, girl, well, what about your liver? Because for me, I know your liver hates to see you coming. Okay? Anyway, Adriana says that said that she didn't know Julia's head was up both Marisol and Alexia's ass, which it is at this point. She is really stepping in this role to trying to be that girl. And again, what you get is what you get. But Julia is adapting just like that. It makes me feel like Julia has always been this person. Anyway, Lisa talk about Larsa, and at this point, I just need you to stop talking to these ladies about Larsa. At this point, Adriana talks about. I'm sorry. Alexia talks about Todd and how she ran into him. Basically, her and Todd was together. She set on him, and that was just what it was. All right. So while she was talking about Todd to the ladies, Stephanie was just looking at her like, this stupid bitch. Like, that's how she was looking at her. So Gertie comes and sit down. She tell the ladies about her celebration of life party. And she also states at her celebration of life, she invites them there. She also wants to take the donations from her party and donate it to a cancer, I think for a nonprofit, from a cancer, a nonprofit. What they call those things? I'm spacing. But, you know, from for a cancer thingamajig. Anyway, sorry about that. So all the ladies are actually getting along. They're hugging, they're talking, they're laughing. You know, they're, you know, at the LGBT community event. So Karama made a nice speech. He got up there, he did his speech, and at the end of his speech, he said, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, stop fighting. And so everybody turned to their neighbor and said, neighbor, stop fighting. Well, 72 hours later, Gertie about to air this out. Point blank in a period. And now we get to Gertie's celebration of life event. So Gertie was absolutely beautiful. Her dress was beautiful. The whole event was beautiful. She was actually on, if y'all had not seen it, she was on Watch What Happens Live tonight. And she discussed how everything went down. And basically Gertie said she about to do whatever she wants. She gonna say whatever she want. Having cancer has given her a whole new outlook and a whole new perspective on life. And I'm not mad at that. So I'm just looking at Gertie like, Gertie, you about to use this event to do something crazy? What you finna do? So that immediately brought me back to Kenya's event at the Kenya Moore hair spa, where what she did overshadowed everything. And even when Angela brought that man in, it didn't overshadow their event, but it was the thing that stuck out the most between this and them is Angela didn't tell Charles immediately. And over here, where Kenya overshadowed her event with the whole board. So anyway, Julia has a conversation. She goes up to Russell and she tells Russell that she's adopted 2 kids. And Russell looked at her and was like, oh, congrats. Good luck. And at this point, Russell don't give a damn, because all he know is you was his wife friend and you took a moment and threw a drink, doused that drink in his black lady face. You stood over her being aggressive and you threw the drink in the lady face. And you basically shitted on her and you treated her like shit. Like, that's just what it is. So he walks off and she talking about, oh, that was awkward. Well, how was Russell supposed to handle you? Because not too long ago, when Gertie didn't even know what was going on, she spoke to Martina in a way Martina spoke to her like awkward. So you get the same thing in return. Period. Anyway, Marisol asked Julia if she talked to Russell. And like I said, she said that it was awkward. She was like, Well, he heard Gertie's side of the story, and now it make it look like she's the bad guy. But Julia, you are the bad guy. Anybody that's willing to turn on their friends and hang out with these pack of lonely, pathetic, miserable, has been Botox wearing bitches is miserable, and you are a part of that too. Sorry, y'all. I just they piss me off. So anyway, Marisol then says to Julia, I see you're trying. Marisol, shut the fuck up. Okay? Shut up. Because for me, I feel like Marisol, Alexia, and Larsa orchestrated this whole thing. I don't know why, but I smell like all three of them are behind the demise of all of this. And Julia took the bait. And now we're here. So, y'all, Julia tells Marisol she went out with Alexia and Todd, and he told her like he's basically trying to win Alexia back. Alexia can hear them having this conversation. So Marisol didn't know none of this was going on. So at this point, she's shocked. Alexia walks over, sit on a couch next to them, and she starts to pipe up and explain all the BS about Todd. At this point, whatever you get from Todd is whatever you get from Todd, and it is what it is. If you can't see your own value, then I just think nobody else should make a fuss about it. Anyway, Stephanie comes and sit next to the ladies, and she tells Alexia, so that party you had was about Todd. So y'all know she was referring to the narcissistic party or whatever, the goddess party, whatever they want to call it, and said that everything on the mirror was about Todd. And so Alexia gets defensive, of course. And Alexia was like, everybody else around here are narcissists as well. And Alexia also says that she's not a narcissist, but she's an empath. And I was like, are you though? Because empaths really care about other people and can feel what other people are feeling. You are too self-absorbed to even become this version, become an empath. Like, I'm sorry. Stephanie said that she's annoyed with Alexia and how she's allowing Todd to do what he wants. First of all, Stephanie, I'm just going to have to stop you right there because you don't even know this lady like that. While I applaud you for sticking up for her, because sometimes, you have to tell people the truth, but she not your friend. She not going to listen to you, and she's getting very defensive and very annoyed about your opinion of her and Todd, and you don't know her. So if I were you, I would not say anything anymore. So, we are, so I did say we was at Gertie thing. So Gertie gets up on the stage. She says she did an MRI, and it turns out she's 100% that girl. So y'all know she is cancer free. We thank God for that. And Gertie goes to, she publicly thanks Russell and her boys. She tear up. And I'm just happy to see Gertie happy. Like, I love this for her. Her speech was very heartfelt. And even prior to her speech, she actually donated. She made the speech about her donation. And I don't know if they said how much she donated. But it's wanted to some cancer choice, a cancer society. I don't know which one. Anyway, Gertie goes to the back with her husband, with Russell and the boys, and she dismisses them. Like, she was like, okay, I will see y'all when I get home. Again, I'm sorry, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Stephanie was like, she tells the ladies that the event wasn't for Todd, but it was inspired by Todd. She's still harping on Todd and Alexia. Like, I need you to leave this all the way alone. Anyway, before Stephanie said that, Julia was like, y'all, I'll be right back. Let me go do a brief intermission. I'll be back on the mic. So Gertie gets back on the mic, and she was like, listen, for everything I've been through, it has shown me who, basically who is my friend, yada, yada, yada. And I'm about to clear up my name. And she exposed the lie between her and Julia. And she pulled up the text messages on this big old screen. And so the ladies are pissed off. And when I say the ladies are pissed off, I'm talking about Julia, Marisol, Larsa, Stephanie, and Alexia. And Julia was like, this is in bad taste. Everybody's surrounded. And I think Kiki too. That's why I don't even trust Kiki. Kiki too. So everybody's kind of discussing how they didn't like what Gertie did. This is supposed to be your cancer event. You're going to make this cancerous and all of the things. Like everybody is mad at this point. Except for Adriana. Now, Lisa is shocked. So she's sitting next to Adriana. Adriana said, oh, Lord, this is about Julia. So I'm willing to believe that Adriana knew what Gertie was going to do. So she wasn't surprised. But like Adriana said, I'm neutral because both ladies are my friends. But what's right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, should she not have done that at her event? Probably not. But was she wrong? One can say she wrong. I don't think she wrong. Now, we flash back 30 some odd minutes ago where she went to the back. She talked to Russell. She told Russell she had to get all her duckies in a row. So Gertie, Russell tells Gertie, I spoke with Julia and he said that they both were good. Gertie was like, Julia, told him what Julia did at the Goddess event. She said, when me and Julia had lunch, we both promised never to speak of anything in front of any of the girls about our situation. Well, Julia reneged on that because she asked the question to that dude who was hosting the event and put it out there about Gertie. So Gertie was like, oh, okay, bitch. It's up and it's stuck from here. I wasn't mad at that. So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Okay? So Julia, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm losing my spot. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take off my glasses that hard. At the end of the day, Gertie aired that bitch out. Okay? She said, when people go low, we gotta go high. She said, but sometimes when you go low, you just gotta go lower. Okay? Sometimes you have to. I'm not saying take the low road. I'm saying people like Julia, you want to whoop their ass just because it's Tuesday, right? But you can't put your hands on somebody without being without being charged for it. Okay? So you know what? I'm gonna embarrass the bitch, and she did. Draw four, uno, and I'm out. Okay? So Julia, Marisol, Alexia, Larsa, and Kiki, and Stephanie, of course, I told y'all they thought it was wrong. So Larsa was like, this is wrong. And I'm just looking at Larsa like, bitch, I know you lying. All the stuff you have done, including now, even on this season. Like just last week, you told your friend Lisa that everybody don't like her. And you are vindictive. And everybody knows you're vindictive. They even have a name for you, the larcenist. Or Marisol was like, oh no, don't mess with Pips. Fuck Pips. Alright? When I tell y'all, I will give her, if I was on that show, I would just give her the blues just because it's Tuesday. Just because it's Tuesday. Like, it'll be on site every time. every time. And this is the double standard that everybody's always talking about. So she can do whatever she want. Alexia can say whatever she want. Marisol, everybody, all of them can say and do whatever they want. But then when the ladies over here respond, because most of the time when the other ladies who's on the receiving end, when they respond, they're like, oh, that's wrong and you shouldn't do that. And I think that's why a lot of us do not like these heifers over here, because they uphold each other in their negative behavior all the time. Double standard. And so now Julia is on that end because they're protecting Julia, but y'all did not protect Gertie when Julia threw a drink in her face. Y'all didn't say, y'all was like, oh, that's wrong. But y'all are so appalled at what Gertie showing text messages. But y'all didn't have the same energy when the drink was thrown. Make that make sense for me. It for me, it really gives. They don't want Gertie on this show. I told y'all, they already got rid of Nicole, and I'm a stand on that, y'all. I'm gonna stand on that. So Lisa asked Gertie, so are y'all not moving on, Lisa? Like you. And so Gertie said, as of last week, no, we not. And yeah, she was like, no, ma'am. So I want to say last week when Julia said all the stuff she said, Gertie did say, she assaulted me with a drink. So I was here for Gertie for standing up for herself. So the rest of the heifers decided they wanted to leave. So Julia is talking. Oh, so Gertie left. I think she went to go take pictures and do some odds and ends and whatever and walk around. So they telling her, oh, we leaving. Gertie was like, okay, like, okay, whatever, bye. And so now Julia is telling Adriana, hey, I'm leaving. I don't have time for this. Like, you're trying to act like you're so above when you were the one that started this entire thing. This all fall on your lap. You cannot get mad at the way this lady respond, and you can't tell her how, when, and where she should respond. Period. And so Adriana is explaining to Julia, listen, she's telling Julia, Gertie did what you did because you said what you said last week at the goddess event. So of course Julia gonna act like you don't know what the fuck this lady talking about. So then Adriana is basically telling Stephanie the same thing, why Gertie did what she did. So the rest of the ladies are outside, flabbergasted, bewildered, all of the things. Okay, they are appalled. Listen, they are outside being all of the things, and they have done enough on this show over these years. And again, when they don't see it for you, they don't see it for you. Anyway, Julia is outside, of course, is outside with them, and tells them, well, Adriana told me that I asked a question or something at the event. And so Marisol was like, well, what question did you ask? And Julia just sat there acting like she didn't know. Like, you just asked this man after you told Gertie you wasn't going to talk about when it came to y'all that was going to be tight-lipped. But then you get in front of these bitches, probably let them put a battery in your bag as well as production, and you aired y'all business out. Again, when that happened, nobody said anything. Nobody said, well, I thought y'all talked about it, this is wrong. No. Y'all just mad at Gertie's response. Anyway, so Stephanie walks outside. She said to the ladies, listen, I'm going to stay because I want to be neutral in this situation. Alexia said neutral. I said, okay, girl. And then she lets the ladies know, like, listen, I already said this was wrong, distasteful, blah, blah, blah. But I need to hear both sides of the story. Okay? So Alexia tells Stephanie, you either have to stand your ground or go back inside and be neutral and go over there and kiss Gertie's ass. So Stephanie was like, what does that have to do with me being neutral? Because I'm being neutral and because I'm sticking around, I'm now kissing Gertie's ass. Alexia, you sound stupid. So tell her you want her to pick a side without telling her you picking a side. Also, tell us, the viewers, that y'all have already picked a side and y'all have orchestrated this whole thing to get Gertie kicked off. I'm sorry. I stand on that. I stand on that. So Stephanie was like, listen, I'm new to this circle. Like, and I like Stephanie because she stands up for herself. Stephanie, for me, Alexia, you're mad because she calling you and pulling your coattail about you and the sham of marriage that you and Todd have. You're pissed off at her. And so the fact that none of these ladies said anything when Alexia basically told Stephanie to pick a side meant you hoes know very well what y'all doing and how y'all orchestrating all of this. But I just want Julia to remember, when the chips are down, you gonna be the first one to go. Anyway, Larsa was like, oh my God, and this used to be a church. Larsa, shut your stupid ass up. Okay? Like, it's an event center now, ho. Okay? This is no longer a church. Okay? And if it was a church, you wouldn't step foot in it. Demon seed, biatch. Anyway, everybody want to act like they so surprised because Kiki did tell them that this was a church. Kiki was just probably telling y'all that just for informational reasons and because she used to go to the church. Larsa trying to use it as a way to weaponize Gertie. Larsa, please. Anyway, Adriana gets up. When I tell y'all, I have been here for Adriana this entire since these past 7 episodes. Like, I can give a good goddamn about you bitches, and that is how Adriana shows up. So Adriana go to Julia and was like, listen, show your text messages. Now keep in mind, what's her name? Larsa, Marisol, and Alexia are standing there so they can hear the conversation. And so she was like, tell your truth, tell your side of the story. Julia was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not stooping down to Gertie's level. Bitch, you got some nerve. I was trying to stop cursing, y'all. I really was. But I can't. Not this episode. So, Marisol is telling them Adriana is asking Julia to go fix it. And Marisol was like, fix this? Please. Larsa said Adriana is delusional. That right there has solidified for me that these 3 bitches is behind it. By trying to be her friend, they know that Julia is green. And then y'all trying to get Gertie kicked off the show because Dr. Nicole not here this season. So y'all brought in Stephanie, somebody like Dr. Nicole. And y'all keep giving Kiki all of these confessionals. So which means for me, y'all trying to sniff Kiki out as a housewife or whatever, as a full-time instead of a friend dub. That's just how I feel. And I guess y'all figure since we have Julia over here, Adriana probably won't return if Gertie's gone. Like, that's how I think. Y'all, this is where the episode ended, but this is how I think. I don't know. But Julia, I just can't. There is no redeeming. I mean, okay, we all have redeeming qualities. But for me, this, I cannot, y'all. So, again, I am going, sorry, after I finish this, I'm going to also have pre-recorded of Sisters. And yeah, we'll just go from there. I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. So tomorrow it will be, and just like that, Divorce Sisters and oh, the return of All the Queen's Men, the 24th. Yes, the return of All the Queen's Men. So you got ladies and gentlemen, we'll have that tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.